So I'm back for some predictions, in fact. It's been a while, but there we are. I'm back now, and this is for UFC Fight Night, and I think, although I could be wrong, that it is 45, but I could be wrong there. Let me just make absolutely sure that I'm right. I am right, aren't I? Yes, I thought it was, but I've been out of it a bit, so I've got to sort of get back in it. Their main event is one to talk about, in fact, and this is a midweek card, but I think that this main event is worthy of a numbered event. This is Donald Cerrone versus Jim Miller. The interesting thing about these is that they are both ground fighters, and they both have very similar records. In fact, Jim Miller does have a better record slightly than Donald Cerrone. I think Donald Cerrone's a bit better known, perhaps. 23-6 is his, 24-4 for Jim Miller. Both of them, obviously, submission specialists. So I think this is going to be quite an interesting interesting fight indeed. Donald Cerrone is coming off 3 wins in a row. Again, all those wins have been by finishes. Jim Miller, he is coming off 2 in a row, and again, those are finishes as well. I think because Jim Miller is the bigger name, possibly, and has possibly fought higher caliber people, I will give him the victory here. But I think this is going to be a very, very hard fought and quite exciting fight. The thing that Edson Barboza and Evan Dunham both have in common is that they are both coming off a loss. And their last fight, that loss is to Donald Cerrone as well. Evan Dunham is in a worse position because he has now lost 2 in a row, and we know what the organisation is like. I think that this is probably going to be an Edson Barboza win here. I think he will mainly be on the feet, and Evan Dunham will be trying to get it to the ground, but I expect it to be a decision victory. The next fight is quite interesting. If you look at the UFC page, it looks a bit like a squash match. This is Rick Story versus Leonardo Mafra, who I believe is making his debut, with a record of only 5-1, to Rick Story, who's got 16-8. Sherdog has a slightly different telling of the same tale. Sherdog says his record is 11-1, which makes more sense considering where he is placed on the card and who he's fighting. He's a stand-up striker, with 8 of his victories coming in that method. Incidentally, that is the only way he has lost in the past as well. Rick Story, mainly a decision king, and the question is, will he be able to do that, considering his past record is loss-win, 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 you know, that sort of thing. He is in fact coming off a loss, which is a split decision. His last 3 wins are decision, 2 of which have been split. Both of those splits are against him, so I'm probably going to pick this as what some might see as underdog of the card, and I might go for Leonardo Mafra to win by decision there. That is underdog pick of the night. It's a hard one to call between Justin Salas and Joe Proctor. I think it's going to be anybody's fight, really. 12-5 versus 9-2. I err more towards Joe Proctor winning this one, I think, but I think it's anybody's fight. You know, they are quite evenly matched here, except for the fact that Justin Salas is possibly better on the feet. But he does tend to lose to all the calibers that he's fought. So, you know, it's anybody's fight, but I'm going to go for Joe Proctor. 23-7 versus 9-2 here. This is John Lineker and Alptekin Ozkilik. He's the one with 9-2. And, you know, he has not done too badly, but he is decision king, whether he wins or loses. 6 decision wins for him. That is a weakness of John Lineker, it has to be said. 4 of his 7 losses are by decision, but I think I'm going to go for John Linker on this anyway. He is coming off a loss, but he has arguably faced higher calibers, I suppose, and beaten them. He does tend to get finishes, so I'm going to go for John Linker. Alex White, with a perfect record of 10, is fighting Lucas Martins, 14-1. Neither of them are debutees, and this is classic stand-up versus submission. It really is. With Alex White on the ground, I think I'm going to give him the advantage, actually, and I think he will win. The undercard, which I'm going to go through a little bit quicker, we've got Gleison Tibau and Pat Healy. Pat Healy, of course, recently done for drugs, I believe, although I don't know if that was overturned or something like that, but there we are. 31-18 is his record, 37-10 for Gleison, who probably isn't used to being on the undercard. I think he will probably win, but I think it probably will be by decision. There's a women's bout on the card, Jessamine Duke and Leslie Smith, 6-5-1 versus 3-1, so I might go for Jessamine Duke there, just on record. Hugo Viana is fighting Aljamain Sterling, who has a perfect record of 9. I think I'll be safe and go for Hugo Viana there. Dennis Sedeno and Gerard Sanders, 9-3 versus 14-1, and Gerard seems to be quite good on the ground and in getting decisions, whereas obviously Sedeno is good on the feet. I think I'll go for Gerard Sanders there. And the final fight is Claudia Gedler versus Tina... Why do they always have to have very difficult names? Lademaki. She's got a perfect record of 5. The former has a perfect record of 1. Let's go for the perfect record of 5, shall we? I'm not going to repeat her name again.